want to come on here, y'all, really, and just set the record straight. Does always on display really kill your battery life? Like, listen, y'all, I'm sick, so sick of seeing people saying that always on display is just draining their battery life on their iPhones like crazy. Like, stop it, y'all. Like, stop it with the cap right now.
Okay, we out here iPhone 14, got that all black looking lean, yeah, it's kinda mean, purple kinda cool, but that black match with everything, whether you're in 80s mid-range or a young teen. I see new camera spotted with that 48, looks the same, kinda right, but I call it hate. A spade, if you're not inside, then you can't relate. Dynamic on this island, even Wilson couldn't see his fate. Swat, let's go.
Now, the question since the iPhone 14 Pro was introduced and released, the only questions that I ever had was, should I actually buy this phone here? Is it any different than the previous iPhones that I have? Is the dynamic island really worth it? Or is it really just a gimmick? Does always on display really kill your battery life on this phone? Well, we're gonna break all of that down right now. All right, so let's go ahead and get all of the basic stuff out of the way so that way we can really get into all of the meat and sauce on this phone, right? So the build quality, we're gonna talk about that first. Now, I feel like for this phone here, it's been really good. Now, although I did a case video where I showed y'all every single silicone case from Apple and that they got some dope cases, don't get me wrong. I just personally like rocking my phone naked for two reasons. Now, the first reason is I just personally like the way that these iPhones actually look. I love the design and the color, especially this space black color. Now, number two, I also like to test the durability of what Apple is claiming to be true when it actually comes to like stronger glass on this phone and just overall just build materials in general. And I have to say this, y'all, using the space black color on this phone here, which to me is by far the best color that you can get. I know a lot of people like that purple, but the space black is where it's at. I gotta say it's holding up pretty solid. I don't have any dings, scratches, or anything like that on this phone. Now, one thing I do gotta mention that I don't really like that Apple did, and that is with them still using lightning connectivity when it comes to charging. Like, this tech to me, y'all, is just old and just needs to jump off a cliff somewhere. Like, it was cool when it first came out, right? But bruh, like, your laptops all got USB-C, your iPads got USB-C. It's like, come on now, like, just move everything over to USB-C so that way we can just carry one flipping cable. Like, it's kind of frustrating, but hopefully, y'all, on the iPhone 15, hopefully we'll see this happening. But who knows? Now, the next thing we got to touch on, y'all, and that is the cameras on this iPhone right here. Now, one of the newer features with this phone when it comes to the cameras is we are getting a larger sensor with the main camera here. Now, the other thing that I like is the ability to be able to record in cinematic mode using 4K. Now, this mode here, I can't front y'all, is some crazy tech that they got going on with the camera. Now, the fact that even after I film something, I can go in and just switch like the focus on if I want the focus to be on this person versus this person after I done filmed it already, y'all, is some witchcraft, y'all, but you know, some witchcraft in a good way. The overall camera quality, y'all, to me is solid, y'all. Now, although Apple cameras tend to lean a little bit more on the warmer tones than what I personally like, but they do give you the option to go ahead and set up the camera profile to the look that you guys want. So if you guys prefer cooler tones, then you can set that, which I personally think is a dope thing that Apple is giving you. Now, to me, y'all, overall, I think the iPhone camera is still king to me out here when it comes to video quality as well as photos. Now, when it comes to taking photos, let's talk about this for a little bit. I think the picture quality is also really good. Now, although there's been times when I've actually been using the portrait mode when it comes to this camera here, and it kind of missed. It was like a hit or miss here and there. I feel like that's with every phone that's out there these days, and I feel like we can only expect so much with these tiny sensors that we're getting on these cameras. But overall, y'all, I feel like the camera is solid, and if you guys are filming on something like TikTok or you're making IG reels with this phone right here, I think it's gonna be worth the investment for sure. Now, let's go ahead and speak on TikTok and IG Reels, because there was an issue that I have to point out when it comes to these cameras, that some third-party camera apps would actually cause the motors in these cameras here to just kind of go haywire and would just do kind of this uncontrollable shake, making it basically an unusable camera. But literally on yesterday, like I'm filming this video on Friday, and on yesterday, y'all, Apple released an update to iOS 16 that fixed this issue. So shout out to Apple, y'all, for fixing this issue with these cameras, y'all, with third-party apps so quickly, because, you know, they could have been like some other companies and took all day to give us our updates, but, you know, another subject for another day. Now, the next thing we got to talk about, y'all, and get out of the way before we get into all of the thick questions and all of the hype questions that I know y'all want to get into, and that is, how is the overall performance with the new A16 Bionic chip with the new iOS 16? So there's a positive and then there's a negative to this answer right now. In my personal opinion, the A16 new chipset is literally the same performance from what we actually see in the A15 chip on the iPhone 13 Pro that I got right here. Like literally, y'all, when I'm using both of these phones side by side, I felt like I was using the same phone. Now, that could be a testament to how good the A15 is, but if you guys are actually looking for like crazy performance boost, then I just feel like you're not gonna get that with the iPhone 14 Pro if you're coming from an iPhone 13 Pro model. Now, when it comes to iOS 16, this is to me by far my favorite iOS update to date. I think every feature that's packed into this operating system with the update and latest and all of that, it's just top tier. From the lock screen, y'all, to the ability to get now battery percentage now here being on the top, finally adding that, also adding new widgets, and just kind of like the overall look and feel, y'all. I just feel like it gives you that feeling that you just got a new phone. And to me, y'all, having the iPhone 13 Pro with iOS 16 on it, I also feel like I already have an iPhone 14 Pro, obviously minus the dynamic island, which we're gonna get into that dynamic island here in a second because it's a whole lot to unpack there. But overall performance, y'all, to me, I feel like on the iPhone 14 Pro is really good. It feels smooth and all of that. Just don't expect like a crazy bump in performance coming from the iPhone 13 Pro. All right, y'all, so let's finally get into that first question that I'm sure a lot of y'all were wondering, and kind of the same thing that I was wondering when this phone first got released, and that is, should you guys actually buy the iPhone 14 Pro? Oh yeah, we starting there. We starting off with the big one. Now, I would say this. If you guys are actually coming from the iPhone 13 Pro, you are completely wasting your money. But if you did, I honestly wouldn't be mad at you because I would understand after experiencing Dynamic Island on this phone as well as some other features. But other than that, you just completely blowing your money because it's literally, y'all, no different than the iPhone 13 Pro lineup. Like literally, y'all, almost a copy paste type of vibe. Now, if you guys, let's say coming from an iPhone 12 lineup, then I would say 100% y'all, this jump would actually be worth it, or at least would make sense because of the battery life on the iPhone 12 lineup, which to me was pretty bad. Now, to me, I feel like the iPhone 12 battery performance out of that phone was like the worst in my opinion out of any iPhone. So this jump here would definitely have you seeing as well as reaping the benefits of jumping to this iPhone 14 Pro. But overall, y'all, honestly, y'all, after testing and spending time with this phone, I would honestly wait for the iPhone 15 lineup because I think that this is where we could possibly get that USB-C connector for charging that I still to this day, y'all, don't understand why Apple just won't make the switch. I mean, I guess it's probably all about money because, you know, I'm pretty sure they're making crazy amount of bank selling those cables. But, you know, to me, I just feel like all of your products already have USB-C, or at least majority of them. So it just wouldn't make sense. Now, this next topic, y'all, I've kind of already touched on it, and that is this phone right here really any different than the previous iPhone 13 Pro model that I got right here in my hand? And to me, y'all, flat out, no. Now, I know some people out there may try and hype you guys up, get you all excited and thinking that this iPhone 14 Pro here is the end all be all and just the best thing since sliced bread. And although, don't get me wrong, it's a dope phone, I just can't sit here on this camera and just tell y'all that this phone here is the one to buy when literally it is no different than any of the other iPhones that's recently been released. I think y'all at this point, it's just really good to just keep your phones and just look forward mostly to the new iOS updates because this to me is where all of the sauce lives when it comes to these phones right here. It's not really about the hardware side of things anymore. And I've been saying this for a while now because software, y'all, is king out here. So save your money, y'all, and just keep what you guys have in my opinion. Now, Dynamic Island, y'all, is this a feature or is it a gimmick? Is it really worth the hype? Now, I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 in this video, y'all. Dynamic Island is dope as hell. I don't care what anybody out there is saying. Dynamic Island is dope, and it is a unique way that Apple integrated software as well as hardware to perfection, y'all. And I'm saying perfection, y'all. Like literally, y'all, the fact that I can now just interact with the notch is just fire, y'all. I just like the subtle changes, like when you guys are airdropping something to it, it pops up there, the status of the airdrop, instead of like taking up the entire screen like it does on previous iPhones. Or when you guys actually listen to music, I can control all of the songs while also seeing the album artwork up there without actually having to leave the application I might be in, which is just dope. Now, there's a lot of other things that this Dynamic Island can do, and I'll be doing a full video on this coming up soon. But overall, y'all, Dynamic Island is literally, y'all, the one thing that's making me personally want to actually go ahead and switch from the iPhone 13 Pro to this iPhone 14 Pro because it's just really dope. And as a tech head like myself, I just want it. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put on my CKid Make It Make Sense hat. Now, the dynamic island, is it worth you guys jumping ship? Absolutely not. Now, as much as I like it, I would be lying to y'all if I told y'all to run out here and go spend your hard-earned dollars on a dynamic island, y'all. Like, it just wouldn't be right of me, y'all, and I gotta stay authentic to myself as well as staying authentic to y'all. It's just not worth it. But do I love this feature? You bet your ass I like this feature. It's so fire, y'all. Now, another topic people have been arguing over, and I really want to come on here and set the record straight, y'all. Does always on display really kill your battery? Listen, y'all, listen. I'm so sick of people saying this, that the always on display is just draining their battery life like crazy. Stop it, y'all. Like, stop it with the cap right now. So I did a test, y'all, where I charged my phone literally to 100%, and I left it off the charger overnight just to test out and see if when I woke up, if the always on display would drain the battery like crazy, y'all. And let me tell y'all, when I woke up that next morning, battery percentage was at 97%. It literally only burns around like 1% every 3 to 4 hours. So to me, that's very energy efficient, y'all, especially when you guys consider how bright this always on display gets when it comes to this iPhone 14 Pro. Now, I will say this is where I would love to see some improvements. I need Apple to give us the ability to lower the brightness settings of the always on display. I mean, it looks good, but it's just a little bit too bright at times. But I do like how when you guys have your Apple Watch on and you got it connected and you guys walk away from it, it's gonna know that and it's gonna automatically turn off all of the pixels on the screen, which is gonna help save you more battery on your phone. But overall, y'all, I love always on display, and is another one of those little things that Apple has done that just makes you kind of like side eye your other phone a little bit and just be like, bro, like, hold on, let me grab it. Be like, bro, hey, why you ain't got always on display? Like, you know, it's been a whole year. I thought it would have been an update. But overall, y'all, always on display does not burn your battery that much, and it is a major plus with Apple adding this to the new iPhone. So overall, y'all, we're using the iPhone 14 Pro for a solid 9+ days, a little over a week now. I gotta say this, y'all. This phone here, y'all, is the best iPhone that is out right now. Like, I don't think anybody's pretty much questioning that, because overall it's a damn good phone. I just don't think that you should go out there and waste your money on it. That's all. Like, the features are dope, but with iOS 16, so are the new features they push to you guys that you guys already have one that really already makes you feel like you got a new phone all over again. But let me know, y'all, am I tripping or am I just being too real? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'm gonna keep testing this phone out and playing around with it and let you guys know if there's anything else new that I find out with this phone. But if you guys are interested in how I actually got this set up right here, I'll link a video right up here on the screen where it shows you guys some of my tips and tricks that you guys can check out. And like always, y'all, make your move and always remember your why. I'll see y'all in the next one. Squad. I'm telling y'all, man, this phone here is dope. But don't waste your money.